Philly's Power 99, Rise and Grind Morning Show, Mother Knows, Roxy Romeo, and Mikey Dread. Good morning, Philly, Jersey, Delaware. In the building with us, ladies and gentlemen, we have Mr. Terry Crews.
Yes!
What's up, Terry? How are you?
What's up? What's up? I'm good.
It's great to finally meet you, man. Great to finally meet you. You know I'm a big football fan, so I always say you're an Eagle.
Oh, that's true. That was my team. I was there.
Absolutely.
I was there. Veteran Stadium, though.
The
real stadium.
Yeah.
First one.
Where you would break your ankle if you know how that field was.
Oh, my God. That's when you blew out both knees at the same time. And that really happened, for real.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Let's talk about America's Got Talent Champions. It's Mondays, 8 p.m. on NBC. Now, these are all the champions from previous episodes, correct?
That's right. From previous episodes, or even from, other Got Talent competitions around the world. Like,
right.
You got to understand, there's 194 Got Talents. Like, there's Myanmar Got Talent, Norway's Got Talent, Germany's Got Talent. I mean, almost every country you can name. South Africa's Got Talent. And Simon's got the whole thing.
Right.
But we took the best of the best and pulled them, but you want to win America's Got Talent. It's still, it's the one to win.
Right.
I want to talk about your acting career because you've been doing it for a long time, Terry. What inspired you to be an actor?
I was broke. I needed some money.
Well, damn, I wasn't expecting that.
No, but listen, I actually came to LA to get behind the scenes as a creator. I actually thought I was going to be a special effects artist. I was painting, drawing, directing, creating, that whole thing. And after football, we went broke.
Right.
My wife and I, we were just like, what are we going to do? I was bouncing. I was sweeping floors. I was doing everything I could do to survive in LA. And what happened is, as I was bouncing, a friend of mine invited me to an audition. He's like, hey, man, you got a good look. You should try this acting thing. And I was like, I don't know. And first thing I went and auditioned for, I got a TV show called Battle Dome, which was like American Gladiators on steroids. I mean, we were putting people in the hospital. I ain't gonna lie. The whole thing, the log line was real warriors, real pain. We were punching people, kicking people, fighting people. And then the first movie I auditioned for was a movie called The Sixth Day with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I got that.
Wow.
And I never stopped acting after that, man. That was 1999. It's been over 20 years in the business. And I didn't know it was my destiny.
Right. So let's take it back a touch because we talked about you playing football and we talked about you being an actor. There are lots of young ladies, lots of boys and girls out there that want to try to attain what you have done. You have been part of two industries that are virtually impossible to get in. I don't know what the ratio is. I'm sure it's 1 in millions to be a professional athlete, 1 in millions to be a successful movie star. What do you attribute that to?
You got to know, I saw this when I was a little boy. I saw this way long time ago. I said, I have to be somebody. I have to be successful. I did not know what it was going to be, though.
Right.
You have to understand that starts there. You have to start right where you are. And there I was, a young boy in Flint, Michigan, in the middle of the crack epidemic. The auto industry was falling. Crack was everywhere. And I said, I got to get out of here. Not only do I have to get out of here, I have to survive. I have to thrive. And art was my way. But I said, okay, then, because, you got to know starving artist is a real term. I mean, it's usually starving before artist. And I knew no one's going to pay me to paint. But I did know there's several different hustles out of Flint. There was the preacher hustle.
Right.
There's the drug game. And there's athletics. I chose athletics. And I knew that being a good athlete was going to be the reason and one of the things that got me out of Flint, Michigan. And I decided I was going to use football as that. But it was never the end for me. Like, I didn't really like football that much. I'll be honest with you. No, I'm just trying to tell you, it was a means to an end. I told my wife when I met her back in 1989, we were dating, we were sitting outside of a Wendy's, and I said, look, first of all, we're going to play in the NFL, then we're going to move to LA, and we're going to make movies. I told her that in 89. You got to understand.
Wow.
When I say I saw this, I saw it. But what was crazy, I didn't know how it was going to happen, but I just walked in it. I never stopped going. And the big thing is you let people talk you out of going.
Yeah.
And this is the issue. if you just take the first steps, you'll get there. But what happens is you like, well, man, maybe, you know, they like, hey, man, you gonna go broke, you gonna do this. Well, my thing was, I didn't care. I said, look, we gonna be in LA. We can be broke anywhere.
Yeah.
So let's go be broke in LA. My wife told me when I retired from the NFL, when I left the Eagles and came back home, she said, remember when you told me we was gonna move to LA and make movies? Let's go. We packed up the car, 2 kids at the time, didn't know anybody, drove out to LA, drove all the way out there, not knowing nothing, not knowing anybody, and started our lives over. But this is another thing you gotta understand.
Right.
You can start over at any time. At any time.
Yeah.
Bruh, this is the best thing about life. Every day is brand new.
Amen.
This is not no hodgepodge. This is not no pie in the sky. This is not no, oh, roll my eyes, yeah, Mr. Positive. No!
Yeah.
Truth is, it's a new day. Listen, it's an opportunity out there waiting every day. Well, I ain't nobody. No. You go out there, the people who actually walk out there and get it, always get it.
Absolutely.
Look at when I look at Kevin Hart, I love Kevin. He's from his town. He's one of the cats that actually went.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? Like there's so many great people. It was so wild because I knew athletes in Flint that was sitting there and they was like, yeah, man, I think that I can, but they never went. They never did it. They never go. But Michael Jordan wasn't even the best one, but he was the one that went.
That went. Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? And when you go and when you experience the heartaches and it's because it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt because people are going to judge you. You gotta pay the price. There's things you got to do. But we were willing to do that, man.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, my life has never been the same. I decided, even when I started hosting AGT, what was wild is I was an actor. And everybody was like, you're an actor. You ain't no host. You know what I mean? I was like, look at you, man. You 250 pounds. How in the world are you going to be hosting stuff? And I said, you know what? I'm going to start. I'm going to start where I am. I got an opportunity to host Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, the daytime version. I did 197 episodes of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire while I was doing Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And I did Who Wants to Be a Millionaire on the East Coast.
Right.
And then had to fly home on the West Coast to do Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Wow.
My kids never saw it. My family didn't see it. But I said, I got to pay the price.
Right.
To get this talent, to get this skill. Because once I know how to host, that opens up a whole nother world for me.
Absolutely.
I started hosting everything. I was hosting this, I was hosting now, I was hosting World's Funniest Fails. You saw me hosting this and that. And then finally, here I am on the world's biggest talent show.
Amazing.
Dude, I'm trying to tell you, man, little boy from Flint, Michigan is hosting the world's biggest talent show right now. You do not know. You don't get to call it, but you got to go.
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm bored.
No, yeah, let's
Terry,
go.
What?
Terry, what have you learned about yourself since becoming a celebrity?
Say that again?
What have you learned about yourself since becoming a celebrity?
Okay, first of all, I learned I'm a narcissist.
Oh.
Oh yeah, no, I'll be real because first of all, you kind of need it. You have to enjoy the way you look. You have to watch yourself. You have to be like this, but then you have to always know that that can be your downfall. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where your ego, your stuff gets in the way. I'm gonna tell you one thing, man. What was wild is even on AGT, and this is a great story, man. I had my suits already and the whole thing. And on AGT, you have notes. They get notes on everything you wear. I wear a lot of different things on the show. You do not get to wear what you want on the show.
Didn't know that.
Okay, listen. At no show I've ever been on, you get to wear what you want. They have to be approved.
Yeah.
Because they want to make sure you don't go out there with something crazy. So I came out there, I had a suit, I had this belt, and it was this belt that went over the suit. I thought, oh man, this thing's gonna be fly, man. I'm gonna change the game.
Right.
And on my way out, one of the execs was like, oh, could you take that belt? No belt.
Oh, wow.
I was like, who in the world? What in the world? Who are they to tell me? I'm already hosted. I'm already this. I'm big time, this and this. And I had the belt. And all of a sudden, something came in my mind and said, what are you doing? Dude, take the belt off.
Yeah.
This is their show. This is their deal. If I was driving their car, I can't put spinning rims on their car.
Facts.
You understand what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, I saw how quickly it could all go because of ego. Because if I went out there anyway, I might get, they might not renew me.
Yeah.
They might not bring me back.
Yeah.
They might realize he doesn't really want to listen. He doesn't really want to understand. And I took that belt off And when I came back after the show, the executive was like, "Thank you."
Uh-huh.
And I realized, hey, man, that's nothing.
Yeah.
That's nothing in the scheme of things. In fact, you work for people. You know what I mean? And in fact, if everybody ain't happy, if your boss ain't happy, we got a problem. And I had to realize I had to get my ego out of the way in order for the team to win. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying? And for me, that was a really small thing. But it was big because that's how people fall all the time.
Yeah.
When you look at Hollywood, and you look at cats, they get the ego in there, and all of a sudden, you can't talk to them. You don't know what they're doing. They like, hey, man, they cussing people out. They're getting angry about every little thing. And, dude, and all of a sudden, the career's over. First of all, there's so many people I started out with that ain't here right now. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just look at myself as the most thankful, most grateful, because this is another thing that's very, very true. And I'm going to say it, and I'm going to keep saying it. The height of your success is equal to the depth of your gratitude. I'm going to say it one more time.
Yeah, say that again.
The height of your success is equal to the depth of your gratitude. Never forget that. The deeper your gratitude goes, the higher your success can go.
Right.
It's like a sky rise. It's like a skyscraper. But if you ain't that grateful, if you ain't that thankful, you can only build 2 stories, bruh.
Yeah.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? So you got to go deep first. And I realized I had to be thankful for everything I got. And all of a sudden, I saw what I really had.
Yeah.
I saw like, wait a minute, I got a beautiful family. I got money. I got a career. I got it. You don't understand. There are people who are more than me that are always complaining. People who have more than me or had more opportunities, but sooner or later you will lose it if you're not grateful and if you're not thankful.
Right. Terry, when it comes to acting, how do you avoid being typecast? How do you avoid being, oh, he's just the bouncer, or he's just the security guard? Because you play an array of roles and you do it amazing.
You know how? But first of all, I loved being typecast. I was like, typecast me. Make me the bouncer. I was in Soul playing as the bouncer. But what happens is I put my thing on it. You understand what I mean? Nobody's Terry Crews. Nobody is me. So even imagine if you hear 2 people sing the same song, they will never sing it the same way.
Right.
This is why you'll buy a cover, you'll buy a different version. It's the same song, but whatever you put your soul into becomes yours.
Right.
And so I determined I'm going to be the bad guy. Listen, Expendables, I was a big Army guy, but the way I did it was my way. I play a cop on TV. There's many cops on TV, but I'm Terry Crews. That's the Terry Crews version.
Right.
But I'll play a bouncer. I'll do this. Whatever. I don't mind being typecast because you can't keep me in there because only I have what I have. And what happened was, as directors, people who were seeing me, they were like, man, this dude, there's something different about this guy. And it wasn't that I was trying to steal it, because my whole opportunity, what I saw in my head, I remember when I did White Chicks. My job in White Chicks was to make people believe that I believe Marlon was a woman.
Okay.
That was hard.
Yeah.
Because he looked crazy, okay? But I went in because I knew, I said, if this sells, if this works, it makes the movie. Same thing with Friday After Next. When I did that with Cat Williams, that scene in the bathroom, man, we were all in. If you turn the sound off, it looks like a drama.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You turn the sound off, it ain't a comedy.
Right.
But we knew if we did not sell that scene, the whole movie's over. It's weak. And so I learned to just go in. Everything that I do, give it everything you got, and then let the chips fall.
Yeah.
And what's happened, it's made a whole wonderful career for me.
Speaking of Friday After Next, you think that was your breakout role or your breakthrough role?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I mean, that got the industry looking at me. You know what I mean? I remember Eddie Murphy. That's how I got Norbit. You know, that's how I got White Chicks. I mean, what happened was people were looking and they were like, this dude,
Yeah.
something's different about this guy. Like he goes in. And I think what's wild to me is to see how opportunities turn into one thing. Like what happened was Friday After Next got me White Chicks because I got to meet with the Wayans. But White Chicks got me The Longest Yard because Adam Sandler loved The Longest Yard. And The Longest Yard got me Everybody Hates Chris because Chris Rock was on that and saw me on that. And then Everybody Hates Chris.
It's like a domino effect.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everything. But this is what people forget. is that all my business, most of my business is always repeat business.